So, new expansions coming in like 2 days. We're gonna look through the cards that are rotating out before we get to the new stuff, so that we can have a good idea of what the new stuff might look like when I believe they release the full set of cards tomorrow. Anyway, let's just look at the new the stuff rotating out, starting with Forest. Losing Autumn Leaf Man. Autumn Leaf Man has been pretty good. It's very useful effect to reduce effect damage to 0. It's been very effective once in a while here and there when the meta requires it. So yeah, a bit unfortunate loss. Felper is also a big loss for some decks that need the card draw. It's a very cheap card draw. It also helps with removal when you can get a damage shield. I think Magachio plays this right now, right? Yeah, it's a pretty useful card. Aqua Fairy is probably one of the best fairy generators right now that we have, and we are losing it, so Fairy is kind of screwed unless we get something better, which I'm not sure there will be yet, but maybe that will change. Next is Whirlwind Assault. Whirlwind Assault, I mean, it's similar. It's like a good card. It's like solid card in some decks. Some decks use it very well. Magachio especially really likes this card. Some variants of Castel also run it to help like gifting Storm as well as like just smooth off the damage. It's also a card that will fill up your hand back after you play 4 cards a turn, which was very important for Magachio, I think. And might be important as well in the next expansion. I don't know how much they're gonna do like cards played per turn stuff, but if they do, this card might have been useful, but it's gone, so too bad. What shame. Machete Elf was played for a one shot moment as a tempo heavy elf forest deck that literally played this just as a finisher to just ping damage to the leader. Other than that, not really seeing any play. It's not super big loss here. Yeah, Rainy is a very big loss to get to the first legendary, of course. Very big loss for Forest here. Very good in staple in basically like every Forest deck up till now, I think, probably. She fills up your hand. You can invoke her. She's a free bounce that doesn't cost PP. She's a Forestcraft follower that leaves play without you having to spend PP to play her out first. And she shouldn't cost 1, which is great. I mean, you can't use it with like 1 hot synergy, but still it's a good card. And the double evolve is very big for both maintaining tempo on board as well as when you need to use the Verdant Lieutenant to draw cards. So it's gonna be a very big loss for Castel Forest. Is so far looks like the most reasonable deck for Forest in the next expansion, and this is going to be a big loss for it. I'm not even sure if it's going to be playable without Rainy unless they get some new invocation. Maybe, I'm not sure if May is enough by herself. Hornet Whisperer, take 2 card. I don't believe she saw like any play, maybe a bit here and there, but like nothing like major. Bright Plume Owl Man, actually I think was played in Ladika for a while. At the end of, what was it? I can't remember when, but I think it was played in like a Ladika, or it was at the end of Godwyrm. I think there was a short period of time when Ladika was the meta deck, and I think this was. I'm not sure if it was. Probably not. It's a bit of a bad card. I mean, it's a 3-cost body. It doesn't really do that much. So yeah, probably not played, but maybe like 1 or 2 copies or something. Anyway, not a big deal to lose this. No one really cares about it, I think. Tamlin is a very big loss. A staple damage card finisher for Forest for like most of the time that it was in the game. And yeah, probably gonna feel this one a bit. Very strong card that is now gone. Forest Remedies was like mostly not played, I believe. It was like tested out in like Fairy last expansion, but it didn't really work out that well. So yeah, I don't think it's not a big deal. This one, Shining Valkyrie, very big deal. It was garbage when it came out, then it got buffed and it became super disgusting and annoying. And is basically one of like the 2 cards holding Fairy Forest together right now. So losing this probably kills the deck. Maybe, I would think so, but remains to be seen. I guess I believe Forest still has 1 legendary that hasn't been revealed yet, so maybe that will change things. It's their transmute legendary, so we can expect that to maybe have some big impact. Anyway, Alba, take 2 card. There was like some people like memeing with this card as like a combo deck where you just summon this and like pray people can't deal with it, and it was, I've lost to this card a few times before, I'll admit it, but overall I don't think it was that good. Probably not gonna feel this one either. Carbuncle is probably, if Fairy dies, which it looks like Fairy is going to die unless they save it, this card will be the next best deck I can think of for Forest to play is Castel. And losing Carbuncle is quite annoying for Castel. The deck's still playable without Carbuncle, but Carbuncle was very helpful for the deck. And losing it will probably hurt the deck a lot, yeah. So far Forest looks like it's losing a huge ton of shit. And it's a pretty bad, yeah, Forest is having it pretty bad this expansion, I think. Yeah, so let's move on to Sword. There we go. Kitty Sergeant. Play in the deck that I absolutely hate and refuse to play. Commander is rotating out anyway, so it doesn't matter that they're losing Kitty Sergeant. Not a big deal overall, I think. Brave Vanguard was pretty solid in a few decks. It saw some play as like, it was played against CDB Artifact, I believe, because they went wide, really wide with their boards, and this could just sweep them up by attacking twice with Bane. Depending on the expansion, Brave Vanguard is actually really strong. And it got to shine in CDB with the Quickblader sword. That was the meta sword deck at the time, which made very good use of this. But anyway, this card is pretty good. It's a bit of a shame to lose it. It might have come in handy at some point. This is very good against board-based meta, so yeah. Illustrious Thief is, I believe, Loot is the best sword deck right now, right? And the Illustrious Thief is a loot generator, which makes it very valuable. Ambush is also really nice. Every time loot was playable, this card was very useful in it because you could just leave it on board, and if your opponent couldn't answer it, it will help you get your lethals. With Barbaros has always been like just barely short of OTK on turn 7, and this card would usually get you to your OTK if you could stick it on the board and evolve it. Evolving it also cycles your hand, which comes in handy, so yeah. Bit of a shame to lose this card, but it's very easily replaceable, so maybe we'll get a replacement in one of the bronze and silvers of the next expansion. Which, yeah. Lirala is a very strong card. It didn't see much play early on because Raider. This card doesn't do shit against Raider. But later on, this card actually popped off in CDB at the start for Control Sword, which was a good matchup against Artifact. And then Mars Sword played this as well, of course. This was strong in Mars Sword because you could heal. The amulet on board would always trigger your damage shield, and then even now it's played in Loot Sword in some lists, not all of them, but some lists run Lirala. Very good card. Damage shield is very versatile. Sword doesn't have a lot of survivability, so Lirala adds a lot. And now she's gone, which is kind of sad. Luminous Lancer was played a bit when she was released, but then she got in the way a lot of the time, especially the Enhanced Fog really got in the way, so she was cut from Rally Sword like pretty fast, and since then hasn't really seen any play aside from, I believe, early toilet lists Now even I don't think Toilet even runs this thing anymore. So yeah, not a great card. Probably not very sad to lose it. Quick Blader was meta for like one expansion. The deck, the Quick Blader sword deck was very fun. It was a very good deck. And then it was played in Mysore, and now it does not play at all. So probably not a big deal to lose this card. Maybe it'll give them more expansions to print more buff kind of effects without this card becoming broken again. Who knows? Next is Steel Luminous Knight. This card was very good. When in Godwyrm, this card was played in Rally Sword, and it was very good to finish along with Erika and Kagemitsu. And then now Toilet uses the card. Toilet. This card is very valuable for Toilet. Pings damage, helps to clear board, and then you can use it to activate your Toilet as well. But well, bit of a shame to lose it, but she's gone now. So Shuriken Jutsu, not really played. Probably take 2 card. Radiant Luminous Mage again, a Toilet Commander stack card. We played this early on in Rally Sword, this expansion, which was comboed with Monica, so she could tilt out your Monica, slam her on the board, then Monica gets cleared, and then you summon the Monica next turn. And that was basically the only thing this card did, and it's not super... yeah, it's not played right now, so probably not a big deal to lose this one. Aurelia is a bit sad. She just got buffed, and now she's gone, which is a shame because she's actually pretty good right now. There's no deck that uses her now because she's just not needed right now, but it's a very powerful card. It's a shame we're gonna lose her right after she was buffed. Yeah. Strategic Commander, never played, terrible card. Legendary Sword Commander was used a little bit in the control sword at the start of CDB, Celestial Dragon Blade against Artifact. As a finisher, you just slam this down, Artifact can't answer it, you hit them in the face for like 10 damage AoE for 3. It's great. Not really, it's terrible, this card sucks. It's too heavy, it takes up board space, it has no accelerate, so it's a brick until the late game. But it does look very cool. Also, the name is very funny. It's a legendary, it's a Swordcraft, it's commander, it's called Legendary Sword Commander. And the card that it summons the legendary sword is legendary and it's sword. Yeah, you get it. There is also the meme deck in Unlimited that loops this using Dramatic Retreat if you want to use this card, I guess. Anyway, not a big deal to lose this one either. Sword. Oh, I don't have the Toilet. I was wondering where it went. Oops. Right, I didn't miss anything else, right? I should probably have checked it and set it on that. Whoops, my bad. Wait, did I miss any forest cards? Let me go back and check. Okay, good, I didn't. I had all the forest cards for some reason. Alright, like sword. So, Toilet. Some people like this card. This card, and they always try to make it work. Sometimes when this deck works, it really works, but I absolutely hate this card and everything it stands for, and I think it's very boring, and I hate this deck, so I never crafted this, never played the deck. I am not sad at all to see this go. So yeah, so overall not too bad. We lose some strong cards, but nothing too like game changing. Illustrious Thief is very easily replaceable. We were talking about Standard Rally, Lirala and Aurelia are probably the biggest hits, but well, we can see maybe some new stuff will be able to replace them. It's not super unreplaceable roles that they play, so yeah. Next is Rune. Enchanting Spell was played basically like half the time that it was in the game it's been played. It's very strong for board locking, and it's a very cheap spell. You just play it, you board lock your opponent and help to survive. And the Rune plays a lot of combo oriented decks, so this was particularly powerful for combo decks to stall to their turn and then win the game. Yeah, good card. Not like super sad to see it go, but it was solid while it was here. Wise Owl, not really played. not very good. It's like an upgraded version of like a very old card. But even then, not very good, so yeah, probably not played. Levi? Well, they are pushing dirt, so losing Levi is quite sad. It's a very powerful card for dirt. It helps you clear board, it helps you chip damage. Spends Earth Right. Crimson Sorcery is a very powerful card, so getting to put it in your hand is very strong. Hannah was strong in Mysteria, of course. We all know this. Hannah was strong. It's a Mysteria card. Mysteria follower tutor was very powerful, and whenever Mysteria is played, this card is always inside. Her evolve effect is pretty solid as well. A bit, but considering like basically the entirety of Mysteria is rotating out, I don't think it's a huge loss that we lose her. We lose her entire deck, but yeah. Originator also very powerful card that was played in Mysteria, but Mysteria is gone, so this card probably won't see play outside of Mysteria, so it does not matter that much. There are some meme dirt decks that run this to like set up a combo turn. You can play this in 7 forces as well if you wanted, but not really anymore nowadays, so yeah, probably not a big deal that we lose Mysteria here. Well, not as big of a deal considering that the entire Mysteria deck is gone. It's a shame that we're losing the entire deck, but in the context that the entire deck is gone, we don't really care. Juno is very big loss for dirt. We are getting a semi-replacement, which is not nearly as good as this card because this card is ridiculously strong. Anytime dirt was playable, she was inside it. She was even run in Sephi for a short while against the mirror to just completely dominate it. But yeah, a very powerful card. Very big shame to see her go. The new version will try its best to fill her role, but will never be good enough. And yeah, probably one of the biggest losses for Rune. This card, Elegant, which I don't even know what this is. I don't think it was ever played. And Greya. So the core of Mysteria Rune as we know it right now is rotating out and bring the entire deck to the grave with her. Overall, it's a pretty fun deck. It's a bit of a shame to see her go. She was unplayable for like basically the entire time she was released until last expansion, when she finally became good, when they finally actually gave Mysteria cards to use. And then they buffed her, and now her evolve effect is ridiculous. But yeah, a lot of people, I think this deck is quite polarizing. A lot of people hate this deck, but I think it's a very fun deck to play. Not super fun to play against, I'll admit, but yeah, bit of a shame to see it go. Blazing Bomb. Blazing Bomb. Blazing Bomb. I don't know what you want me to say. Basically never play except in like Zerael meme decks. So yeah, no one cares about this card. Well, I don't. I don't know if you do. If you care, I'm sorry. Sorcerer's Standoff. It was played like here and there. It's like if you have a lot of card draw in your deck, like especially when that 2-cost card that drew like 4 cards was still in the game, but now it's not anymore anyway. Pretty solid card when it's warranted, but it's a bit heavy at 5, so it's not played like right now at all. But here and there you tack it into like early Chest Rune, for example, like when in CDB, when Chest Rune was just released, you would run this card, and then if you were running Chest Rune, most people didn't. Yeah, but probably not a big deal to see this one go either. I don't imagine this would see much play right now. 7 forces, we are losing the big meme card. Never like... It was almost meta last expansion, but then it didn't make it there, thank god. But yeah, meme card, not super strong, probably not a big deal to see it go, but if you like memes, you're probably pretty sad about this one. Yeah. I always thought the design of this card was very cool. I don't know why I have so many copies of this card, by the way. I just get bombarded with them when I open the packs. Raining Blades, huge deal. A lot of rune decks for some reason run run Storm Followers and Raining Blades would help them pop off. Spell Boost played it, Chess played it, Mysteria played it. Basically all the meta rune decks that aren't Dirt Rune played this. I think even like at some point Dirt Rune did like run one copy of this or some shit. But anyway, it's a very powerful card, but probably not a big deal to see it go considering they are pushing Dirt Rune right now. And then Craig, same deal as all the other Mysteria stuff. This card is quite strong, but with Mysteria rotating out, it doesn't do anything anymore. Okay, let's look at oh yeah, so Rune loses one entire deck, but other than the one, Rune loses quite a bit. It loses an entire deck and loses some very strong support for the archetype that's currently being pushed. So we have to see if the new Dirt stuff can make up for all these losses. So let's look at Dragon. Mermaid Song, first of all. What does this even do? Give +0/+1 to all allied Dragoncraft followers. You know, now that I think about it, isn't this card will be broken and sword. But yeah. Not really played at all, I don't think. Maybe it was played like early on to use it to like buff Forte when she was just released, but then turns out it's not very good, so no one gave a shit. So this card wasn't really played much, like at all. Not a great card. Probably don't give a shit that it's rotating out. Next, Dragonute Martial Artist. I don't know why this card exists. This card is terrible. Even this card didn't play it because it discards random cards. Yeah, not good at all. Never played, I don't think. I don't think I've seen this card played even once, unless in like some kind of arena format. This card also not played. It's supposed to be like a companion to Masamune, but yeah, just not good. Wait, actually, I think it was played like a little bit, like early on, like in Godwyrm, but now it's not anymore, and it hasn't been seen play like at all since then. So yeah, Masamune, very strong card actually. Quite sad to see it go. It was an enabler for a lot of strategies. It's just free damage, helps you clear board. It's a very sticky follower. Yeah, it was just solid. There's not much else to say. It's a solid card, and it's a shame to see it go. I think this is Breath. Whenever you control deck, you play this card because it's an extremely efficient removal. 2 costs for like up to 10 damage. Strong in the useful in the early game, useful in the late game. Very solid removal card. Probably a bit of a shame to see it go right now, but yeah. Twin Drake Guide was played in Armed early on, but not anymore because the tree body is very heavy. So yeah, not a big deal to see this one go. Ethica, very good control card. It clears the board for you, it recovers evil points for you. It's just a solid card. If you had space to run something and you wanted some removal, you just chuck Ethica in and she does her job. Good against like early tempo. Lethal Dragoon Scyther, I don't think this was played like at all. Maybe a little bit here and there, but yeah, not a great card. It's a 4 cost 4 damage phase, or you can use the Bane to remove things. It's very eh. Iron Scale Serpent Drake. This card saw so much play in Armed, and then they nerfed this card and then it became hot garbage. Yeah, this card used to be very strong. You could just win games off this card on turn 3 in the past when you play Armed, but not anymore. So yeah, probably don't give a shit that this is gone. Armed has more than enough stuff to run anyway. It doesn't need to run stuff like this anymore. Leviathan the Furious. I don't think I've seen this card played like at all. Not super good. Yeah, it's just not a very good card, honestly. Forte was played like here and there for like most of the time that she was around. Very solid effects. Storm for a lot, very hard to deal with if your deck is not equipped for it. And if you can't remove her, she can just run away with games sometimes. Probably a bit sad to see her go, I guess. Of all the Stuffed Dragons losing, probably Forte is the biggest deal. This card... no, this card is garbage. Infinite Flame is mostly a meme. It was run in one-off for a bunch of decks, just as a finisher. There was a weird OTK deck that used this back in the day. But mostly this card was a meme and never really saw that much like high value play. It was just basically played as a one-off in like a bunch of decks just as a finisher. So yeah, Dragon overall not losing too much, if I'm gonna be honest. Masamune, Flame Lizard's Breath, Forte, I guess that's about it. Even Arms like was starting to cut Forte for a bit like recently, so yeah. Not great. Next, Shadow. Oh, Shadow. So, first, Mino, Daydreaming Reaper. This card was low-key strong. Like, it's a very unassuming looking card, but in Last Word, this card is just a 1-cost 5/5. You can just pop it on the board and just kill things with it. Hide it behind a ward, your opponent's dead. It's great. Good card. Last Words. They seem to be releasing some Last Words based synergy, so losing Mino probably a big deal for Last Words. But other than that, it was a decent card while she was here, I guess. Beguiling Spectre, I don't know, was this even played? Maybe like very early Last Words they was played. But no one cares about this card, I don't think. It's not great, no, doesn't matter. Cerberus Last Words is losing. Cerberus is a very strong card for basically the entire time she was here. She does so much. She Burial Rite, she's Last Words payoff. It's just cheap damage, and she's even like hand neutral. She doesn't like. It's a hand neutral Burial Rite. It's very powerful. I mean, you've probably played Burial Rite. You probably know this. Hand neutral Burial Rite very strong because you run out of hand cards so fast. And considering they are pushing some Burial Rite and some Last Word synergies, losing Cerberus is very big. I don't know if the deck can actually survive without this card. So yeah, very big loss for Shadow. Lifespan Calculation, I don't know if this card was even played. It's like it's like okay, I guess. It's not very good. I don't think anyone's gonna miss this one. Corral Souls. Oh, Corral Souls. This card was so goddamn strong for the entire time it was here. I'm pretty sure this card solidified the meme of Shadow's best cards being in the bronze and silvers. It was this card, it was Spirit Invasion, yeah. Anyway, a very big loss. It was very strong card draw, helped you unlock your boards in Last Words. It summons ghosts for face damage. It basically just did everything. It's a very strong card. Whenever you want to build a Shadow deck, you're like, what card should I put it? Just chuck in Corral Souls. Very strong card. Corpse Peddler, I do not think was played at all. It does like something, I guess. I don't know, who cares. Wandering Plague Bearer, I've actually seen this like played a little bit in some Soul Taker lists, but overall, I don't think this is a thing. Even Last Words didn't really play this card because it was just so heavy at 3 cost. It's a 1/2 and your opponent ignored it, or if they just like traded into it or destroyed it like without having followers, it does nothing. Not super good. Orthros was very strong for a lot of decks. Burial Rite, for old Burial Rite Dragonblade. Godwyrm Burial Rite, you played this card. This card is strong, very strong. It again hand neutral on its fanfare. When you evolve it, it's a -1, but it helps you draw all your Shadow followers that you need. You bury Lakandula with this and then you draw 2 cards. It's a very strong effect. And then you evolve Barrel Right, do 2 damage to all enemy followers. Again, very good effect. It just helps you answer the board, and it's two BRs in one card, which is very good for invoking Lakandula as well. Overall, quite very strong card. Probably a bit of a shame to lose this one. Yeah. Attendant of the Abyss. I do not know what this card is. I'm just gonna skip it. Deathly Tyrant's Feast. Very. I believe when it was released, it was like not played, like at all. And then it's sort of like sat there and rot for a while. And then in Asvault, suddenly this card was extremely strong in Last Words, and then it's just been played in like a ton of Shadow decks since then. Ghost doesn't play it now, but Barrel Right also played this card. We're pushing Barrel Right now, so it's a bit of a shame that you don't have this card anymore, but I do not think that it's too big of a deal. It's a very strong, it was a strong card when you could reach 20 shadows. Decent card. It's a very good finisher. It helped you just pop things for like 5 billion damage out of hand. It's great. If you're trying to play Barrel Right without this card now, so see how that goes for you. Last one also loses this. Last one is probably dead. It loses Kerberos, it loses Tyrant's Feast, probably not playable. Charon, the queen of cheating out cards like Mordecai and other like big stuff that you can just ruin people's life with. Very fun card to play with. Who knows if she's good or not, but she's very fun to play with, and it was a lot of very interesting strategies, so probably a bit of a shame that she is gone now. Yeah. Oh, and somehow, I don't know why, but I don't actually have like regular copies of her. I have 1 animated one and I have 3 of the outright ones. Soul Taker, I love this card. We're getting basically Soul Taker version 2 Electric Boogaloo in the next expansion. I guess that one's more like Nephthys, right? But it's kind of like Soul Taker in the sense that basically what you want to do with that card is just to vomit out a whiteboard. The problem with Soul Taker, other than her being a 9 cost unreleased and being an 8 cost now, which is super heavy, is that you have to build your deck super specifically to make her work, because it's randomly based on cost. So if you put in like too many different cost followers in your Soul Taker deck, it would just mess up your pool. You would just not summon the things you need. But yeah, I had fun with this card while it was here. I really like this card. It's a shame that it's going, but at least we're getting a semi-replacement. And next, Mordecai Unending Duelist. This card is so cool. I think the design of this card is great. I love this card, but it is so hard to play after we lost Call of the Great Arm. Like, you just have to find all 3 copies of it somehow, or use Charon or something. It's very hard to play now. Neat card, probably don't really care to see it go. It's a bit slow nowadays, so yeah, I don't think it's a big deal. So far, the biggest losses for Shadow is probably Tyrant's Feast, Corel Souls, and Severus, which are pretty big losses, but probably not as big as some other classes are facing. So yeah, not. I would still say Shadow is hit pretty hard for this rotation. Yeah. Next, Blood. Blood loses Demon Brand. Demon Brand was played a little bit in Mono, a little bit in Vengeance, but overall not a big deal. Doesn't matter, we're not even playing Vengeance anymore. Creeping Malice. Ew, this art is so gross anyway. I don't think it was ever played, like ever. Not very good. Spiderweb Imp was played in like early Wrath, like Dragon Blade and Godwyrm Wrath. You played this card, but that level of Wrath wasn't very good. She started being cut out when Wrath being more about ODKs and aggro, because she just got in the way and doesn't do that much for you. Mini Soul Devil, big deal for Evo. It's one of the best Evo cards, honestly, in my opinion. This card is so annoying, you can just run away with games if your opponent can't answer it. And they have released some evil stuff so far, so I guess it's the makeup for Mini Soul Devil being rotated out. I don't know if this deck is even playable without Soul Devil, honestly. Maybe it might be. You know what? Might be playable without Soul Devil. I take it back. Might be playable. We'll have to see what the people cook up with their evil. I mean, you still have your damage options, so I guess it should be fine. Vania. Vania is the biggest loss for Blood. I'm pretty sure nothing can top this one. Vania was so strong, played consistently the entire time she was in the game. You play Blood, you just chuck Vania in, unless it's Pazuzu. Does Pazuzu play Vania? I think Pazuzu might even play Vania. Vania is so good. It's Wrath. It's great in Wrath, great in Vengeance, great in like every deck. Even Handless played Vania, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, extremely strong card. I don't know what they were thinking. Very ridiculous effect. Does a lot for you. Very big loss. I don't even... Which is why they had to print like some pretty ridiculous Wrath cards this time. It's because they're losing Vania, so big hit for Wrath there, which they have to make up for. Vampire Queen Castle's another very strong card that it's a bit of a shame to lose. A bit unassuming, but it pings you twice for 2 PP and it summons wards for you. And late game it heals, which is overall quite strong. Probably a shame to lose this one too. I've never seen this card either. If you didn't even know it exists, what does it even do? 1 play point, do 1 damage, and then they fall to this is terrible. Terrible card, I don't know why this is here for. Venomous Cobra I think was played very early Wrath, like in Godwyrm, Dragonblade, Wrath. You played this card, it helped you clear board, helped you ping yourself. Nowadays it's very bad in regular Wrath, it's just not worth it. Yeah, not worth it. Another big loss is Vite. Vite draws you cards, it helps you clear board, it buffs. It makes you a big board if you're in Wrath. It helps you pull your castle to ping yourself or to heal. 4 cost is a bit heavy, but I think the fact that he draws you cards is so worth it. Probably a big loss for Wrath as well, considering that they are pushing some Wrath. I think losing Vi is a big deal. They are getting more draw though, so there's that. But yeah. Sanguine Slash was played in this card, and that's about it. Frenzied Demon. For some reason, this card is like weirdly good. Wait, is it this card? No, it might be this card. No, it's not this card. This card is terrible. Pazuzu maybe. Other than that, no. Waltz is a huge deal. When he was released, it was mono that you could play with him in, and then he just fell off. I mean, you could do the Moonlight Waltz OTK as well with him if you really wanted to, but that was mostly a meme then after. And then Vengeance became meta, and then this card was very ridiculous. Very strong card, his Accelerate is strong. He cycles himself, activates Vengeance. His Fanfare, this Fanfare wasn't used much. But the Evolve is kind of insane, like his Evolve is like so out of nowhere. He just becomes a 9/9, can attack 3 times per turn. You could occasionally pull out some wacky OTK with him, but mostly he's just there, not really very good. Yeah. Doomlord, when it was nerfed, I dismantled all my copies of Doomlord. Hold on, give me a moment. But yeah, very powerful card in Vengeance. It helped you just survive. If your opponent couldn't do anything about it, you would just play Do Not Hit them in the face next turn, just finish them off without having to protect your own face. And also helps to clears boards, clears out wards out of his way. Pretty solid card. Vengeance not played right now, but if Vengeance was played right now, you would probably play this card. Doomlord is just a solid card. Overall, Blood loses some extremely strong cards considering they are pushing Wrath, I would say. The losses for Blood are quite heavy. We'll have to see if they can make up for it next expansion. And next is Haven. Okay, let's see what Haven loses. This card never played. This card not played. This card was played. You played in early Crystallize when it was just released. And you can play in like Amulet based decks, but even Amulet based decks don't really play this card that much either, so not super good. It did see play though, I'll give it that. Master Abyss, I don't know. Tina was played in Ward Haven with Holy Saber and was very good in that thing. It was 3 evils to activate Holy Saber. It tilted, it helped you draw more cards, and yeah, solid card. Not anymore after Holy Saber rotated though. Ascended Prism Priestess. It sees play here and there. Amulet based decks really like this card. The old versions of Crystallize used to play this card, but now we have enough Crystallize that you don't have to bother. It's played in Heal Haven now to tutor some of your amulets, but yeah, solid card honestly. I don't know if it's that big of a deal to see it go, but it was solid while it was here. Crusaders Rallying Cry was played like a bit as well. I think old Crystallize also played this card, but nowadays you don't see this card anymore because Amulet aims for OTK, Crystallize aims for OTK. This deck just doesn't have any. This card just doesn't have any place in those decks. Next, Zlatarok. Weirdly powerful play on turn 6 back in the Ward Haven days. Nowadays, not played. John. Hold on, let me move the other one. Yeah, John is a big loss, I think, for Heal Haven, because you do play this in Heal Haven. It's a solid pull off of your Aether. You run one Illuvia, right? And then after your Illuvia, you play Aether to pull out John and have a pot clear on demand, as well as healing. Quite solid card. Probably a bit of a shame to see this one go. Yeah. Lucius, I don't think was played, so yeah. Imperial Saint. In Heal Haven, this card was very annoying to play against. You would just like, you would heal up so much, and you had to figure out how to deal damage around this card. This card, and then if you popped it, it just summoned like this 4/8 with Storm Bane Ward. This guy, very it doesn't see play now, but it did see play early on when it was released, especially if you had like some OTK decks that would deal like chunks of damage here and there. This card would just help you out. It would heal you back up. It would put a ward in the middle of your opponent's combo. But now it doesn't see play. This card popped off the most during Crosscraft, when Shadow would abuse the hell out of this card and summon like a billion copies of it and then activate its last words. And it was ridiculous. Yeah, now not anymore, so yeah. Next guy out the Virtuous. This is play it in like Heal Haven lists. It's not play anymore. It's still playing Heal Haven Unlimited, I believe. Skullfane. Oh, Skullfane. A lot of people hate this card, of course. This card is the most high rolly Crystallized Haven card in the world. If you drew this early, you just discount it, just accelerate all the amulets, just keep spamming these, punch your opponent in the face for 4 for free, heal for free, board clear for free. Super strong card. A lot of people are probably happy to see this one go. But Haven healed Crystallized main's probably crying in the corner right now. Yeah. They did release a newer version, but I do not think it's anywhere near as good as this thing. So overall losses for Haven. This maybe, and I guess Skullfane. Oh yeah, well, of course Skullfane. Skullfane is the one that is of course. This is the I guess. This is the I guess, but Skullfane is the biggest loss and very big loss for Haven. Heal Haven is still mostly playable though, especially with the new support. So I think Haven would still be fine. But yeah, let's move on to Portal. Alright. Portal. This set was something else for Portal, I tell you what. So let's go through all the stuff that it loses. Number 1, Robopup. This card single-handedly enables Shin to work. I think without this card, Shin is screwed. Shin is over unless they release something equally as ridiculous as this. I think Shin is up a creek without a paddle. Artifact also loses this, which is a huge deal. This card is just very strong. Ridiculously strong. When this expansion released, Artifact was so broken because you would just OTK on like turn 3 with Bahamut and Cassim. So probably big deal that we're losing this one. Let's go to the next. Cultivate Life. This was played in Resonance in Godwyrm. Resonance was actually meta for a while in Godwyrm, and this card was played in it. Not play anymore, but not very good card, honestly. Cyclical Fate. So they are pushing Artifact this expansion. And at first I saw that new legendary and I was like, that leader effect looks pretty strong if you stack it with Deus Ex. Then I realized Deus Ex is gone. Deus Ex is gone now. That is so sad. Deus Ex was basically the savior of Artifact. It popped off when it was in Celestial Dragonblade. It sees some play now in Heroes of Rivenbrand, the one we're in now. Cyclical Fate just did so much for you. Well, mainly Deus Ex Machina did so much for you. Well, Cyclical Fate is pretty strong. The fact that you can just slam Deus Ex on turn 4 going second is kind of ridiculous. Yeah, very very strong card. Big shame to lose this one. Flower Doll was staple in Puppet, but Puppet's not playable now, so it's no longer played. It doesn't look like they're pushing Puppet, so probably not a big deal that Flower Doll is gone. Rosa, one of the two twins, the worst of the two twins. Very annoying for aggro decks to deal with, but overall not super big deal to lose Rosa, I do not think. But, oh boy, our boy Cassim is finally got the man of decisions, Kimitakara himself. Also called El Diablo by some people, rightfully so. This card was so ridiculous, played in every Portal deck since it was released until now. This card is so strong, I do not know what they were thinking. If you do not have an answer for this card, it can just run away with games. You can just get aggroed by this card because it does so much damage. It clears your board so you can't even like play a follower and hope that you can use that follower to answer this next turn because this thing will just kill it. Cassim is so strong. Such a ridiculous card. Probably one of the best silver cards currently in rotation. Maybe even the best. This card is ridiculous. You all know how strong this card is. It is so dumb. A lot of people hate this card. I kind of hate this card too, I guess. Not when I'm playing it though. When I'm playing, I'm like, oh my god, this card is so good. And then I laugh. And then they play Mikhail and Clarion and I cry, but anyway. You know, as a sword player, if you have been a sword player for a while, whenever you looked at new cards after Cassim was released, you would look at them and think, oh my god, this card is an answer to Cassim in the early game because this card just fucks swords so hard. Thank god this card is gone. A lot of people are happy it's gone. Portal players cry in the corner, I guess. Cassim is gone. This card, I do not know if Heroes actually played. Maybe Resonance played her early game, but she's definitely not been played anytime recently. Hydro Gunner was I think actually played in CDB Artifact, but not anymore because this card's garbage. It does give you analyzing, but like Summon Divine... Oh, sorry. Summon Divine Treasure. Summon Divine Treasure. This card... It was nerfed. I don't know, maybe some of you newer players don't know this. This card was nerfed. Because Eternal Dogma used to be so strong, it would just heal you too as well as drawing a card. It made you unkillable, it cycled, you would just pick Dogma like every time. And then it would do a lot of work in Resonance when it was released. It would do a lot of work in Artifact and Puppet in CDB. And then it was nerfed and then it got cut because the heal doesn't... You can't heal anymore. And then Enhance came about and then this card is suddenly the bane of everyone's existence because this card was like so tilting in Enhance because you would always have to watch them enhance this for 7 and then like spend 2 BP to summon a 5/5 or 7/7 and they would just block your OTK with the shield, and then you would have to watch that happening with the knowledge that is the one copy of this card they ran in the deck and they just top deck that shit, and then you would just cry in the corner as your perfectly planned out OTK was stopped because they drew the one copy of this card they ran. Overall, I don't think it's that big of a loss. It had some like decent effects, but like not enough that you would just mourn the loss of it. So yeah, it's a big loss for Enhance though, of course. Eccentric Engine. No, this card wasn't really. No. Wait, is that the Nerva thing? I didn't even notice that. Does that mean she's a vessel for the keeper or whatever? Who cares? The creeping slime is a meme. You could just you would just buff this card and then if your opponent couldn't answer it, they would just die. But yeah, it's just a meme. Norn. You played this was of course played in Resonance. It recovered PP for you. It's pretty cool, I guess. It does destroy a follow-on tempo and evolve draw a card, so it's like decent tempo for you to set up, but overall not a great card, not played very much. Oh, this card did one thing, and it did this one thing really well, and I hated its guts for it. Is that what it would do is, if you set up your Resonance just right, you could on turn 7 play Terra Finis, and then recover 6 PP, and then draw Bahamut. And if whenever you drew that Bahamut, if you activated Resonance with that Bahamut, you would be back to 7 PP. You could play another Terra Finis to draw another Bahamut, and then play both Bahamuts. And it was such a ridiculous card for that one reason, and it was played for that one reason in Control Resonance. After the mini, I think this was released in the mini, so other than that though, not a big deal. Orcus, the banger puppet card. She wasn't super good when she was released, but then she really hit her stride in Celestial Dragon Blade, and then after that Lishana rotated out and this card was never the same again. I crafted this last expansion, made like 2 puppet videos, and then this expansion puppet wasn't playable, so she's just rotating out now, which is a bit of a waste, but maybe I should have just crafted her earlier than skill issue, right? Anyway, right now not a big deal since they're not pushing puppets, so probably not a big deal to lose her. I do like her as a card though, it's very cool. Machina loses Goliath, which is quite a big deal. His 0 PP Accelerate was very strong with the card that draws you a card whenever you play Machina. He helped you clear enemy followers in the early game for literally 0 PP. He enabled an ODK in Asvault. Nowadays, you can he's still very strong. You play in Machina, you can just dump him down. If you summon a Keziah off him, your entire board gets +2/+2 and ward. If you're a Machina player, you're probably very sad to see this one go. They're not pushing Machina right now, so from the viewpoint of trying to play new stuff, not a big deal to lose Goliath, but still quite sad to see him go if you like Machina. I think Machina's pretty fun. I don't like it that much though. Next. Alright, we're finally on the neutrals. Oh, I'm sure all of you have been waiting for this part. The neutrals. Alright, let's see what we are losing. I wonder what it could be. So first, Wayfaring Goblin. At first this card saw like 0 play, and then some Sword players were like, wait a minute, this is a 1 PP card that just draws a card. And then it was stapled in Rally Sword for the entire expansion after that. You played this in Mars Sword as well. You played this in the Quick Blader Sword. Anytime you had a mid-range to aggro sword deck, you would just chuck this in. This is basically a sword card, honestly. Shadow also played this card. Flame and Glass in Godwyrm played this card as well. I mean, it's a cheap follower, it's 1 PP draw. It's a very versatile card. It can heals you in the late game, it gives you evil in the late game, it helps you clear in the late game, it does a lot. I think it was overlooked at the start, but nowadays I think people can see that Wayfaring Goblin actually a pretty solid card, so probably a bit sad to see this one go as well. So it lost Bumpkin and now it's losing Wayfaring, so it has just like no options for early game cycle anymore, besides Deep Sea Scout, which I guess is good. Next. Angel of Boons. I don't think this was actually ever played, ever. Ambitious Goblin Mage was played in Evil Blood. In Dragon Blade, I think. And the only reason why you would play this is to put Bloodlust Demon back into your deck because you needed that invoke so badly, and that was about it. Wait, was Bloodlust Demon in CDP? It was, right? Yeah, Bloodlust Demon was in CDP. Yeah. Alright, next. Metatron. Seen play for the entire time it was here. This card is super strong. Going second, of course, it ramps for you, which is always very strong effect. Ramping is very powerful. But even other than that, a 1/4 ward that deals damage to the leader and heals yourself is so powerful. This is just such a strong card. It stops early aggro completely. It ramps for you. The ward is like a big body for just being 2 cost. It's a very good card. One of the biggest losses. See, it's such a good card, I even animated all my copies of it. Probably a big loss to see this one go. Next, Streams of Adventure, mostly played. This is a Rune card, wasn't really played anywhere else. When it was in Rune, it was played here and there for the healing against like very annoying like board-based, tempo-based decks. Not a big deal to lose this one, honestly. That's just, yeah. This one wasn't really played. Wasn't really played either, although she did have her effects were pretty niche, but ultimately there was never a place for her, so she wasn't really played. Babcatha, big deal to lose this one. Of course, we all know this. This card is very strong, played in a variety of decks. A lot of control decks, even rarely saw it play her in Godwyrm when she was released in the mini. Her very solid effects all around, give you +1/+1. It draws cards, and then it gives you this spell which is very strong. But nowadays not so much played. Okay, no, I was wrong. It's played in Evil, right? And it's played in Control Bahamut Dragon. Quite strong card. Good in like mid to slow decks. probably a bit sad to see this one go. I animated, I animated all my copies of her as well. Next is the giant heavy pig. The bane of 20 damage, exactly, OTK decks. Control decks really loved this one. Control Forest when it was a thing in Godwyrm really loved this card. Dragon loved this card. Sephiroth loved this card. I believe Soul Taker also played this card. You maybe play in Cornelius as well nowadays, but yeah. Did some pretty strong things for yeah, but well, it's gone now. Max HP, but we do have that new neutral legendary that gives you like 5 max HP, so yeah. Next is Terra Finis. Well, Terra Finis and Bahamut really come as a set. We all know these cards, we all hate these cards. This is the worst card in the entire pack, bar none. It's inevitable win condition. Literally all you had to do was survive until this card came out, and then you just win the game because your opponent's deck is gone. It prevents your opponent from winning the game, is the entire point of the card. Basically only a few classes could play this. Forest could play this, Dragon could play this, Portal could play this, Haven could play this, and the other classes just couldn't make this work. So it's like, eh. We all hate this card, we're all glad to see it go. Thank God. And yeah, overall neutral, some big losses here and there. If you like Bahamut, I guess Bahamut's a big loss. I fucking hate that card. Wayfaring Goblin, big loss. Metatron, big loss. Blackcat Afedi, big loss. Wait, was Olivia Sylvia not in this set? Oh, she's not. I thought she was. Oh well. So yeah, that's it for the cards we're losing overall. Forest got screwed over. Blood screwed over. Portal is omega screwed over. Shadow is taking some pretty big hits. Rune takes some pretty big hits as well. Sword is, thank God, mostly fine. Haven is mostly fine, besides Galfane, which, well, I guess that's not just, I guess that doesn't make them mostly fine. Dragon had nothing to begin with, so they don't lose that much. And that's the stuff rotating out. We're looking forward to the new expansion. The new cards should be releasing tomorrow, and if they do, I will probably do a stream looking through the new cards together. Come watch it if you want, if they do it. Yeah, and that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Oh my god, it's like an hour long, Jesus Christ. My throat is very dry now, so I'm gonna stop. Yeah, thank you, and see you next time maybe.